You prefer being alone. You avoid social gatherings. You would rather stay home on a Friday night than go to a party. And people think there is something wrong with you. But here is the truth. There is nothing wrong with you. You are just highly intelligent. And intelligent people operate differently. Today, I am going to show you the real psychology behind why smart people prefer solitude. And if you are one of them, this is going to make so much sense. Let me be clear about something. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. Lonely means you want connection but do not have it. Alone means you choose solitude because it serves you better. There is a huge difference. Throughout history, the most intelligent minds were lone wolves. Einstein spent hours alone thinking. Newton isolated himself to develop his theories. Tesla preferred his own company over anyone else's. These people were not antisocial. They were not broken. They simply understood something that most people do not. Solitude is where greatness is built. If you are someone who prefers your own company, keep watching. Because I am about to validate everything you have ever felt. Here is what science tells us. Studies show that highly intelligent people are actually happier with fewer social interactions. This is not opinion. This is research. There is something called the Savanna Theory of Happiness. It basically says that our brains are wired based on how our ancestors lived. Back then, being around people meant survival, safety in numbers. But highly intelligent people have evolved past that need. Their brains do not require constant social contact to feel secure or happy. Here is why this happens. Intelligent people process information differently. Their brains are constantly working, analyzing, thinking deeply about complex ideas. Social interaction, especially meaningless social interaction, takes up mental energy. And for someone whose brain is already running at full capacity, that energy is precious. Small talk does not stimulate their mind. Surface-level conversations do not satisfy their need for depth. So they avoid it. Not because they are rude or arrogant, but because it literally drains them without giving anything valuable in return. There are 4 reasons. Intelligent people prefer being alone. Reason number 1. Shallow conversations are exhausting. When you are intelligent, you crave depth. You want to talk about ideas, concepts, the meaning of things. You want conversations that make you think. But most social interactions are not like that. Most conversations are about the weather, about what someone ate for lunch, about reality TV shows or celebrity gossip. And for an intelligent person, this feels like mental torture. You sit there nodding, pretending to care, but inside your brain is screaming. You are not interested. You do not care. And every second of that conversation feels like a waste of time. So what do? You avoid it. You would rather be alone, thinking about things that actually matter to you, than sit through another conversation about nothing. And people call you antisocial for that. But you are not antisocial. You are just selectively social. You save your energy for conversations that are actually worth having. Reason number 2. Solitude fuels creativity and deep work. Every major breakthrough, every great idea, every significant discovery in history happened in solitude. Not in a crowded room, not at a party, in silence, alone, with nothing but a mind and a problem to solve. Deep work requires focus. Real focus. The kind of focus you cannot get when people are constantly interrupting you. When you have to attend meetings. When you have to make small talk in the hallway. When your phone is buzzing with messages from people who want your attention. Intelligent people understand this. They know that their best work happens when they are alone. When they have hours of uninterrupted time to think, to create, to solve problems. Social obligations are distractions. They break the flow. They pull you out of deep thought and force you into shallow interaction. So they protect their alone time like it is sacred. Because it is. That is where their power lives. That is where they do their best thinking. And they are not willing to sacrifice that for social events that add no value to their life. Reason number 3. Intelligent people are selective about their social energy. Your energy is limited. You only have so much of it in a day. And intelligent people understand that energy is a resource. You do not waste it on people who drain you. You do not spend it on interactions that give you nothing in return. Most people collect friends like they are collecting coins. They want as many as possible. They measure their worth by how big their social circle is. But intelligent people do not think like that. They would rather have one or two deep, meaningful friendships than 50 surface-level connections. Quality over quantity, always. They protect their time and their energy like it is the most valuable thing they own. Because it is. They know that spending 3 hours at a party with people they barely know is 3 hours they will never get back. 3 hours they could have spent reading, learning, creating, or simply recharging in silence. So they say no. They decline invitations. They stay home. And people think they are weird for it, but they are not weird. They are smart. They understand the value of their own energy, and they refuse to waste it. Reason number 4, intelligent people prefer observing over participating. Here is something interesting. Highly intelligent people are natural observers. They learn more by watching than by doing, especially in social situations. When everyone else is participating, laughing, talking, being loud, the intelligent person is watching. They are analyzing. They are noticing patterns in human behavior. They are studying how people interact, what makes them tick, why they say the things they say. Social gatherings are not entertainment for them. They are research opportunities. They see things that others miss because they are not caught up in the moment. They are detached, observing from the outside, and this gives them an advantage. They understand people better because they are not trying to be part of the group. They are studying the group. They see the dynamics, the power plays, the insecurities, the masks people wear. Being the outsider looking in is actually a position of power. You see everything more clearly when you are not emotionally involved. And intelligent people know this. So they choose to stay on the outside, not because they cannot fit in, but because they learn more by not fitting in. Reason number 5. Independent thinking requires independence. If you want to think for yourself, you need to be by yourself. Groupthink is the enemy of original ideas. When you are always around other people, you start thinking like other people. You absorb their opinions. You follow the crowd. You lose your ability to think independently. Social pressure is real. Even if you do not realize it, being around people influences your thoughts. You start caring what they think. You start adjusting your opinions to fit in. You start saying things you do not really believe because you do not want to be judged. Intelligent people understand this danger. They know that if they want to protect their intellectual freedom, they need to protect their independence. And that means spending time alone, away from the noise, away from the opinions, away from the pressure to conform. Original ideas do not come from groups. They come from individuals who are willing to think differently. And thinking differently requires distance from the herd. It requires solitude. It requires the courage to be alone with your own thoughts, even when those thoughts go against what everyone else believes. That is why intelligent people are lone wolves. Not because they hate people, but because they love their own mind more than they love fitting in. Reason number 6. The emotional intelligence paradox. Here is something most people do not understand. High IQ does not always mean high emotional intelligence. In fact, many highly intelligent people struggle with social situations because they do not naturally understand emotions the way other people do. Social interactions feel like a foreign language to them. Reading social cues, understanding unspoken rules, knowing when to laugh or when to be serious. It is exhausting. It feels like performing, like wearing a mask, like pretending to be someone you are not. And intelligent people hate that. They value authenticity. They want to be themselves. But social situations often require you to hide parts of yourself, to tone down your intelligence, to dumb down your conversations, to laugh at jokes that are not funny, to care about things you do not care about. Being alone removes all of that pressure. When you are alone, you do not have to perform. You do not have to read the room. You do not have to worry about saying the wrong thing or being too smart or making people uncomfortable. You can just be yourself, fully, completely, without apology. And that is freedom. That is why intelligent people choose solitude, not because they cannot handle social situations, but because they are tired of pretending. Now let me clear up some misunderstandings, because people get this wrong all the time. Being alone does not mean you are lonely. It means you are comfortable with yourself. Being selective does not mean you are arrogant. It means you value your time. Being quiet does not mean you are shy. It means you are thinking. Being reserved does not mean you are antisocial. It means you are intentional about who you let into your life. Intelligent people are not avoiding people because they think they are better than everyone else. They are protecting their mental space because they know what drains them and what fuels them. They are not superior. They are self-aware. They are not broken. They are different. And different is not bad. Different is just different. They have chosen quality of life over quantity of connections. And that is a valid choice. That is a smart choice. But let me give you a warning. There is a dark side to this. There is a difference between healthy solitude and unhealthy isolation. If you are avoiding all human connection, that is a problem. If you are staying alone because you are afraid of people, that is not strength. That is fear. If your solitude is making you bitter, angry, or resentful toward others, you have crossed a line. Balance is still important. Even lone wolves need some connection. Even the most intelligent people benefit from diverse perspectives. You can prefer solitude without completely cutting yourself off from the world. The key is intention. Are you alone because it serves you? Or are you alone because you are running from something? Are you protecting your energy? Or are you hiding from life? Be honest with yourself about that, because there is a difference, and that difference matters. Here is what you need to remember. Being a lone wolf is not a weakness. It is a strength. Intelligence and solitude are naturally connected. Highly intelligent people need alone time to function at their best. They need space to think. They need silence to create. They need independence to maintain their originality. Society will pressure you to be more social, to have more friends, to go out more, to be like everyone else. Resist that pressure if it does not serve you. Your alone time is where your power lives. That is where you think your best thoughts. That is where you do your best work. That is where you are most yourself. Embrace your nature. Do not apologize for it. The world needs lone wolves. The world needs people who think differently. And you cannot think differently if you are always following the crowd. If you are a lone wolf, drop a comment and let me know. Tell me what resonates with you from this video. And if this made you feel seen and understood, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe if you want more psychology content that actually makes sense, because I am going to keep making videos for people like us. People who think deeply. People who value their alone time. People who refuse to apologize for being different. Thanks for watching. Now go enjoy your solitude. You have earned it.